Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, we would like to acknowledge the presence of our head panel, Dr. R.B. Abud, our panel members, Engineer Mark Paulo Vision, and Engineer Atom Bacon, to our thesis coordinators, Engineer Mary Grace Bentanilla Calilu, and Engineer Nolan Concha, and to our thesis advisor, Engineer John Manuel Berhel. I'm Mr. Hilotina Jr.
And I'm Lawrence Margadillo. I'm Rodney John J. Rosado.
I'm Keith Robles.
And we are the group that conducted a study about the development of personal water filter using active carbon and banana peels. Before we proceed to chapter 4, 5, and 6, we will quickly discuss the chapter 1, 2, and 3. As we all know, in our country, the Philippines, is rich in bodies of water, like rivers, streams, lakes, ponds, and underground water. These sources of fresh water seem to exceed all our demands, but in reality, only a portion of these are suitable for use, because it's polluted. So we conducted a study of our water sample. So here are our findings and study. Active carbon is also known as charcoal. It's easy to obtain and purchase because of its cheap and ease of accessibility. Active carbon can entrap impurities and contaminants in water, including chemical waste and industrial waste. Also, it can absorb odor. While in banana peels, we have a high production of bananas in our country. Banana peels can help entrapping heavy metals because it contains nitrogen, sulfur, and carboxylic acid. These two could produce a significant effect in liquid purification. For the significance of the study, for those people who are lacking of sustainable water for the household use, it's an alternative water treatment that produces a clean water for household use that can be safe for public health and for the environment. It's used a low-cost materials in treating water which are accessible and easy to obtain, and improve the social responsibility and environmental awareness by learning the proper segregation of waste materials. For the specific objective, to determine the effective setup of the active carbon and banana peels as filters in removing the carbon-based impurities and heavy metals, namely cadmium, chromium, copper, lead, and zinc. To analyze the physical properties such as color, total suspended solids, metal content, and the pH properties of the filtered sample. To compare the result of the filtered water from the DNR recognized laboratory test to Dow 2016-08 Standard Class B, and to use cheap and recyclable materials for water filter apparatus in treating water. For the scope and limitations, creation of filtering apparatus with 4 different setups. The sources of water is from Pasig River. Test conducted only to color, pH, total suspended solids, and metal contents, namely cadmium, chromium, copper, lead, and zinc. Result will be compared to DNR-2016-08. For the conceptual framework, for the input, water sampling at Pasig River, create filtration device using active carbon and banana peels. For the process, water treatment using filtration device, and for the output, improve water quality of the sample.
For an overview of our review of related works in literature, here is the Pasig River system and the Pasig River cleanup, the water pollution in the Philippines, and the consideration of the Pasig River as a polluted water body. The use of water filtration in order to obtain clean water, the use of active carbon and banana peel as main components of a filtering apparatus. And then the comparison of the water usage and classification according to the 2016-OA. Here are the classifications of water, wherein Class D is only used for agricultural, irrigation, and livestock water, while Class AA is considered as the best quality of water, wherein it is considered as potable water, which can be used as drinking water. For our local study, we base our research on a thesis titled Coagulation Filtration Apparatus using watermelon seeds and lime fruit juice as coagulants, which was made by FEU graduates Bulak, Carlos, Luna, and Mutya. For the foreign study, the heavy metal absorption by banana peels micropowder, equilibrium modeling by nonlinear models. For the methodology, here is the breakdown of the processes made. The collection of water sample at the Pasig River, the initial water quality testing, the preparation of banana peels and active carbon as filter substance, the creation of filtering apparatus, and then the water collection after filtration for the testing. For the collection of water sample from the Pasig River, we have a bucket container which was 10 liters, and we tied it to a rope, and it was lowered onto the Pasig River to a depth of 2 meters, wherein the water sample was slowly lifted, and we let the sample settle until so that the heavy solids would settle at the bottom, and then the water sample was transferred to another container for the initial testing. The area in which we got the water sample was in Calawaan. The preparation of banana peels. We made different setups or different preparations for the banana peels in order to test which is the most effective as a filtering apparatus. In set A, the cut banana peels, which are to be used upon the collection. And then in set B, the cut banana peels were washed with water. In set C, the cut banana peels were washed in distilled water. And in set D, the oven-dried banana peels. For the preparation of for the preparation of the banana peels, we collected the banana peels from vendors, and we gave them notice that they need to properly segregate their waste so that we can use the banana peels as a component of our filtering apparatus. For the preparation of active carbon, we bought the charcoal from the local market because it is cheap. And then we needed to rinse the charcoal in order to lessen the dirt present in it, because the dirt might affect the results of the treated water. The same was made for the aggregates. We bought washed sand and silica sand. We added silica sand because silica sand are known as a filtering substance. And then we also needed to rinse the aggregates in water in order to lessen the dirt present in it. Here is the preparation of the filtering apparatus. We went to a glass and aluminum supply wherein we asked them to make an apparatus with the dimensions of 1 meter height and cross-section of 0.5 meter by 0.5 meter. Here is the controlled setup for the experiment, for the research, wherein the top layer is the active carbon, and then followed by the sand, and then the gravel at the bottom, in which a faucet was attached to the last layer in order for the output of the treated water. For the different setup of filter apparatus, here are the pictures for each setup, which in set A was the cut banana peels. The set B was the cut banana peels which were washed in water. And then in set C, the cut banana peels which were washed in distilled water. In set D, the oven-dried banana peels. And in set D are the controlled sample, in which composes of the activated charcoal, the sand, and then the gravel. Here is the picture of the treated water from the filtering apparatus, in which we transferred each treated water into a container which was labeled according to their setup. And then, the bottle was a 500 milliliter, which were given to us by the DENR recognized laboratory, the Energy Development Corporation. We transferred the bottle into a cooler in order to preserve its natural state, while transporting it onto the laboratory. Here are the members of the Energy Development Corporation which conducted the laboratory analysis, which was led by Dr. Leonora, which was led by Miss Leonora Santos. For the chapter 4,
results and discussion. The table shows the summary of the results of the active carbon and banana peel filtration tested by the Energy Development Corporation. Different setups. The results of different setups are shown, and below is the table of the. Below is the table of water class usage by the Dow 2016-08 standards. And for the results of metal content, from the initial sample, the result shows that there was extremely low level of metal content from the initial sample, which caused the absence of analysis from the other samples. Because the researchers assumed that there will be metal content from the Pasig River as it is based from the past studies, but the continuous project and cleanup of the Pasig River system helped the Pasig River to be more stable and clean. And from our area, there is a volunteers, which are the Kalawaan Fireballs, who are taking care of the river. That being said, that from the initial sample, there is an absence of metal content. Then from the results of pH level, the table shows that all the parameters except C are within the range of the typical pH range of a surface water. In sample C, it is below 6.5, which means it is more acidic, because it is due to the fact that the distilled water can affect the acidity of the water, because when the distilled water is exposed to atmosphere, it able to absorb carbon dioxide, which resulted to be more acidic. Then for the results of color, the result shows that the entire sample is within the range of class A and B boundary. Sample A has the best results, that from 30 PCU to 25 PCU. There is an increase in the sample B and C, because the discoloration is due to the resin of the banana peel that causes the water to be more in high value of the color. But the overall, the desired samples are within the range. Then for the results of total suspended solids, we can see that the sample A, sample B, and sample D achieved a low level of the total suspended solids from 59 milligrams per liter to about to 10, which achieves up to class AA from class B. Our research about the active carbon and banana peel. The active carbon and the banana peel helps in the absorption process of the water. That helps the solid substances to attract to its component. That's why we achieve good results.
So, So for the conclusion is based on the final result of the study. So first, it is found out that the best setup that can be used for this study is setup A, which include cut banana peels, activated carbon, sand, and gravel. Second, it is found out that the initial water has been improved in terms of pH, color, and TSS. Therefore, the researcher concludes that the study is effective. So third, the researcher concludes that cheap materials like activated carbon and banana peel can be used as an alternative on filtering water. So for the recommendation, so even though that the water can be classified up to class A, the researcher recommend it only for class B use, or it can be only used for household uses and not for drinking purposes. The reason of this is for it to be considered as potable water, it needs to meet the national standard for drinking water of the Philippines. So it needs further treatment like sedimentation, disinfection, and more. So for the enhancement of research, the researcher recommend to lessen the cross-sectional area of the apparatus for its portability, to improve the quality of apparatus by increasing the thickness of glass, to consider other filtering materials, to test of different parameters namely dissolved oxygen, salinity, and nitrogen, to use different source of water for comparison of the result. So these are some of the main use of a class B water. So it can be used for bathing, for laundry, for washing dishes, and more. So since the result achieved up to class A, the researcher recommend to use it for larger tank as an additional filter substance for treating water used in drinking station. So we also recommend for future study about maximizing the use of banana peels as filtering materials. And lastly, the researcher recommend the study to barangay heads for them to be able to help poor people in their community. They could provide the necessary materials for the construction of the apparatus in order to lessen the expense of people who have a hard time getting water on their own. As we know, informal sector near rivers have the difficulty in obtaining clean water for household use. With the coordination with the leaders from the community, this study will be able to help their needs. So this ends our presentation. Thank you for listening. We are now open for questions.
Okay. So, yung thesis 1, naalala ko, may ratio yun. Mas nabago, iba-ibang setup na naman natin. Pero yung tanong ko, ano yung basis ng amount ng banana? Para po yung amount ng banana na ilalagay nyo sa filtering device.
The amount of banana po, we made the activated charcoal and then banana same in the height in the apparatus po. Para po kasi po when we went to the Energy Development Corporation, the use of ratio daw po will only provide little effect on the results. That's why they also recommended that we could use the different preparation for the banana peels in order to know which is more effective.
Same amount lang. Tapos sa same height siya.
Same volume.
Based dun sa, yung may initial testing kung amount ng contaminant sa tubig. Pwede nyo bang ma-recommend, for example, nakita nyo na mababa talaga siya sa heavy metals. Heavy metals may mababa.
Yes, sir.
So yung heavy metal, yung active carbon, nag-remove ng heavy metals, diba?
Yung banana
Ay, banana peels. So kung yung tubig natin, initially, mababa talaga siya sa heavy metal, parang meron kayang effect yung banana. Kasi yung purpose ng banana doon is to absorb yung heavy metal. Initially pa lang, mababa na yung heavy metal ng tubig
I
natin.
have the same question.
So, iniisip ko, baka yung may effect talaga dun sa filtering device is yung active carbon, hindi yung banana. Ayan.
Yun na, number one objective nyo. Ito ang gigisa sa inyo. Ay balik sa results ng heavy metals. Yan.
Ito po, di ba po there is an absence of metal, there is an absence of analysis for the metal content. But when we compare naman po from the results po of the total suspended solids po, we could not say that the active carbon only affects in lowering the TSS po. Kasi po, we have example which is active carbon and there is no banana peel filter. Then yung when we combine po yung active carbon and banana peel po, mas greater po yung results namin. Mas na-achieve po namin yung class A po. Compare po dito na na-achieve lang po yung class is class A.
Because I'm going to have about you. Your first objective is to determine the effective setup of activated carbon and banana peels in removing carbon base. Mga RRL nyo is about may iba sa question nyo. Ang tanda ko kasi, from your paper before is yung proving nga ng effect ng banana. Tama, in removing heavy metals. Pero ibalik nyo. Kasi yan yung dinidiscuss mo, the TSS, we are looking for the metallic. Yan, heavy metal contents. Initially, si positive na. Halos kamukha niya lahat. So does that mean depleted yung objective one nyo? Metals tayo ha, tayo lalagay sa metals.
Yung nagbago po kasi from our thesis 1 po is past researches po kasi and past articles is stated na meron pong high amounts of metal content po sa basic river.
Yes. Pero you still push to have removing carbon-based impurities and heavy metals. You even named it cadmium, chromium, copper, lead, and zinc. Nung syempre, bago nyo i-proceed yung study nyo, dapat napag-aralan nyo muna si PASIC itself. Ngayon, pag lumabas pala ng metallic siya, you go for the safe one, which is to continue the process. Pero we are looking for you to remove the heavy metals kasi that is one big pollutants in the water, kaya hindi tayo magkaroon ng isda. So ngayon na walang nangyari sa heavy metals natin, kahit nung isabihin yung sagot, wala ka talaga pa rin na heavy metals. Ang is it recommended na lumipat muna kayo sa creek?
Or location.
Oo, or in-inform nyo muna kami na, sir, wala pa lang heavy metal, pwede bang at least palitan namin yung objective namin? Kasi objectives are, yun yung titignan namin as a basis for all of your testing. It's either you change the location to generate the heavy metal, or tanggalin nyo sa objective nyo si heavy metals.
Yung tinanong po namin sa advisor po namin, na kung yung sinabi po namin na may absence po of metal content po, then tinanong po namin kung tatanggalin nga daw po namin ba yung objective po namin, kasi po wala. Tapos sabi po nung advisor namin, we stick na lang daw po sa kung anong results po.
Pero, di ba, before siya na pinerform to, your advisor is, of course, advisor. He is not 100% liable sa kung anong hindi result ng paper nyo. Bago nyo sana ito ginawa, or pagkagawa nyo at may lumabas na ganyang metallic properties, at pagkaunang testing nyo with the first sampling, sana kinundak nyo muna kami panels kasi we are still relying on your objective number 1. Kahit anong paikot-ikot ang sagot natin, wala pa rin kayo natanggal na heavy metal. How would we know that bananas are actually effective? Diba? We're actually looking for it, for this banana to absorb. Actually, ang taas ng hopes ko for this, but yun, na-off ako nung sinabi ng sabihin natin, oh, clean sa Pasig River. That is good. Pero, that makes your research weak. Diba? So, although I'm not the head panel of this, I cannot create your verdict. Pero, what do you think? Are we going to remove? Are we going to retest? Kasi pag ito binasa talaga, at yun yung pinalabasan na result, sa akin, X talaga yun. Objective one. We want to see the removal of heavy metals.
Parang ano yung effect ng banana.
Hindi natin ngayon alam kung ano ba talaga ang naging effect ng banana peel.
Parang naging effect na lang po nung banana peel po. Hindi na po siya talaga sa metal content po. Pero nakatulong pa rin po siya sa absorption process po. Gaya po na.
Kaya nga, that differentiates your study na hindi yun na yung topic mo. Active carbon and banana peel, baka sabihin active carbon na lang. Pag active carbon na lang, marami ng thesis about that. Banana peels yung inanaba. Alam namin na marami property si carbon. Kahit si Manila, ginagamit siya to collect multiple water pollutants. Pero, what are you going to do about this?
Ano po, ito po yung, ano ko lang po, kasi po, para sa amin po, hindi naman po nawalan ng sense yung banana peels po. Kasi we have po yung control setup kung saan active carbon lang po yung ginamit, yung SETI po.
Okay.
We can see po sa TSS, sa pH level, and sa color po, na active carbon itself is not enough to meet po yung to meet lowering the results po. And the rest po, with the help of the different preparation of banana juice, we produce po different amounts po.
Actually, I'm impressed with the results from that 59 down to 10, 20, 36. Kahit alin dyan, maganda ng results yan. But again, metal to it. TSS is a property wherein suspended yung solids in the level of water. Eventually, it has to go down unless disturbed yung tubig, then it creates ATSS. Now, sa tingin nyo, sino mas mataas na pollutant? Heavy metals or TSS? In considering water treatment. Kunyari, isda kayo. Saan nyo mas gusto yung lumangoy? Sa tubig na may heavy metal or sa tubig na may suspended sodium?
Ako, we can say po na heavy metals po
Yung mas
polluted.
mas polluted. See, pati yun yung say, ano ba? Yun yung highlight na hinahanap namin for your paper. Kasi nga, in our heads, bago pa kami dumating dito, inisip namin na ito makakasagap talaga ng bakal. Diba? Pinag-usapan namin sa Rabat nyo kanina na yung dagta nito collects metal. So, sayang sana kung alam nyo wala palang pinagbago, sana nag-change muna kayo ng location. Kasi,
Parang tester.
oo.
Kaya yung equipment na
Ano lang po kasi nun eh, nung time po kasi nun, matagal din po kasi yung results, and then we asked po si Ma'am Ben and Sir Berhel din po kung kailangan po ba namin change pa po yung location. And then, sabi po nila na
Pero wait, the one you should be contacting is not them. It's your panels kasi we have to agree or disagree to the topic. They are only your coordinators and advisors. Diba? You cannot interrupt them. First of all, this is 100% your research. Diba? Kasi pag sinabi niya, pwede namin i-fail din si ma'am na, ma'am, kasalanan niyo rin pala eh. Diba? Pwede namin sabihin sa parent na kasalanan din niya. If bumagsak to. So, what do you think? Shall we do in this? Remove your objective? Test tayo ng another, kasi pag binago yung objective, saan namakmak na approval to? Even your title has to be changed. And, yung topic talaga yung malalalasan. Para mangyari, major revision talaga.
Pero makatagal yung test. Kung magtry kayong makapag-uwi.
lagpas po 1 month bago po na.
DOST, hindi. Nagpapawater sampling ako every 2 weeks kami. DOST ka dito.
Ano lang po kasi kami sir, hindi po sila nagpabayad po sa amin.
Still. Okay. So, bagay, yung bayad yun sa mga students. Alam mo, nung thesis 1, di pa wala tayong natanong. Kasi we were really impressed with your actually impressed. Pinag-iayabang ko itong even sa iba kong klase. Tapos yan, hindi nyo pala na-testing sa ibang baka.
We were expecting din po kasi na may heavy metal content po. Then, ayun po, nung pagka-test po, sabi po sa amin sa laboratory na low level lang po talaga yung sa heavy metals. Meron po, pero
Hindi ganun
kita pa rin
ka-high.
na mababa lang po. So,
Na-achieve naman